Today in the crypto space, we've seen the market coming down to lower levels. Once again, Bitcoin right around 77,000. We have Ethereum down approximately 6% below the $1,500 mark. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins also coming down, some of them holding steady at least. However, guys, the general market is in a downtrend. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. But more importantly, I want to talk about one project. Of course, the project is Ethereum, the leading indicator for the altcoins, and currently in a red position. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins. Looking for opportunity, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here. The market today in a bit of a dip, once again, led by more tariff talk. You know, the trade war is definitely escalating, as we expected, a bit of, a banter with regards to different countries responding to tariffs and so on and so forth. And the news lately has been totally published with tons of this stuff. And we have to understand that this is the case. The fear, uncertainty, and the doubt that is basically bringing the markets to these levels might continue to the downside. And this is something that we have to anticipate. The trend is currently our friend, unfortunately, to the downside. And that's the thing, guys. You need to have those hedges. You need to be prepared for lower levels. And on the channel, guys, as I always say, we don't mind. We just need to be prepared. Now, the question is, are we going to get into a bear market? Are we coming down to much lower levels? Are we going to go sideways for a good while? Maybe create a nice floor price. Are we going to get some macro conditions in our favor for once? And this is a lot of the speculation. But until we do get that, guys, the trend is your friend to the downside. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. Today, we are definitely dipping over, rolling over again with this, dead cat bounce type of scenario. We are not at previous lows yet, but we're doing okay. As long as we stay above the previous low, we're still fine, I guess. We're still in a downtrend, like I'm saying. However, what's more concerning about me, or quite interesting, is that as the market cap is falling down another 4% today with this rollover, you can see that the trading volume kind of diminished as well as we are coming down a little bit. So it kind of gives me that indication that maybe the bearish strength is over. But again, with the news coming out all the time, we don't know where we're going, guys. We don't know what's going to happen, and until the market gets desensitized with these tariff talk, guys, we just have to understand that the trade war continues, the trend continues, and so on and so forth. So, guys, we're going to do our best here, as per usual, do our best to kind of navigate these markets. Guys, are going to be live tonight at 8 p.m. EST. Feel free to join, guys. I take requests. We look at charts, we look at setups, we talk about macro conditions, we talk about the markets, we prepare ourselves for the following day to basically capitalize on all the volatility. And of course, guys, if you want to join that Discord, it's absolutely free. I got links in the description below. Let's continue. Let's scrape through the top 100 real quick. And you can see today's another day where we technically should be focusing on Bitcoin. But the second best would be, in this case, to look at the other leading indicator in this market, which would be Ethereum. And I'm starting to really build a thesis that I might have to buy my Ethereum back. It might be an opportunity here, because ultimately this price, to see Ethereum back down to these levels, is starting to get me interested, particularly if we come down to a very psychological level, $1,000. Guys, if we come down to about $1,000, I am buying Ethereum. Okay, that's the reality. Even though I don't really, appreciate it and what it's been achieving, and a lot of the market is quite bearish around it, guys, I'm buying back some Ethereum if that's the case. We'll take a look at the chart in a second. As we continue going down, you can see we're getting a few dead cat bounces here, but they're not really coming down to previous lows. Some of them more than others, of course, a deeper dip and down to lower levels, but some of them just fine. Look at H-bar. So what? It ran up, V recovery, a little bit of a dip. AVAX, same thing, ran up, a little bit of a dip. No big deal, right? Even Bitcoin, let's be real, okay? Ran up, maybe a little bit of dip. How about if this becomes a higher low and we spring off of this? It could happen, guys. Of course, I'm smoking fat bowls of opium right now, but the reality is it can happen. It could definitely happen. So we got to understand that 1 hour fractal, anything can happen. We can get those pivot point structures. I know today the sell-off was ugly and the circumstances that brought that sell-off was quite ugly, but we currently could be producing a bit of a structure that could spring right off of it, given that Bitcoin is at an important level, guys. That's the truth. Bitcoin gets a bounce here, the market will show some strength, and maybe we'll get that reversal. Maybe we won't. We got to prepare regardless. All right, guys, let's get right into some of this price action. Let's take a look at what's going on with Bitcoin, because of course, a lot of us are really interested in what's happening with the heavyweight here. You can see it's dipping down. And the reason why I'm still kind of like, again, hopeful is that we've came to this level before on this wick and we got a nice little buy up. And the question is, are the bulls going to defend this zone once again? Or are we going to start breaking down to about 72, 73? That's my next little target here. But of course, worst case scenario, we start wedging down, dripping to much lower levels. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Guys, I don't want to, basically talk FUD, but the reality is it is where we're at. It's very fearful and very uncertain. And of course, a lot of people have tons of doubt. And we're very clear about the trend. Guys, the trend has never been more clear. As you can see, I've been very, very forward about my thoughts about what's going on here on the daily. And the daily is still in this downtrend. As long as we do not get a change of character, guys, we have to anticipate that we are still making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, so this was a nice bounce. We could still get a nice bounce right now. I know a lot of us are worried about the trade, tariffs and all of that kind of stuff, but we could continue with a bit of a bounce. Am I betting on it? No, I'm not betting on it, right? If I get on lower time frames and I go long, yes, I'm going to get in and get out like a ninja. Quick scalps, profitable. Today I got into a bit of a short. I should have held that short, but ultimately I got into a bit of a short, did pretty good for my day, and I'm out, right? That's the reality. That's how you should be trading right now, because we don't know what's going to happen, what kind of news is going to be released, and what Trump says, and so on and so forth. So it's better not to keep your risk on the table. It's better to get into your risk, do your thing, and get out and get de-risked quick. That way, obviously you're not exposed to the market when something happens, right? Or something gets announced, or there's some sort of press release or whatever the case is, right? So this is the concern. Now, as we see this volume kick in right here to the downside, we got bought up real quick, and this current volume is not that big in comparison to the previous candle, which is that wick. Just keep that in mind, right? We see Bitcoin still creating that divergence. We talked about Bitcoin yesterday in a dedicated video, and I made it very clear that this is the divergence that you kind of want to pay attention to. As long as we're upward sloping here, we're still okay, despite what the price does. Even if it comes down for a lower low, we understand lower low on the price action, higher lows on the momentum will give us a class A bullish divergence. It's not tradable. I don't trade divergences only. You got to look for structures. You got to look for confluence across many indicators and many different aspects of your thesis. You have to have a well-developed thesis. But ultimately, as long as we see momentum still in the uptrend here, I am hopeful that one day we will get a nice bullish response and get overbought once again, even if it is a lower high right here, come down for another lower low, and we continue to the downside. This is all very possible, guys. And of course, as per usual, the 72,000, 69,000 is another level that I'm interested in to see, hold support right around this level. It's all very possible. 69K is a great level for support and a nice little bounce. And as we drip there, we can get a nice falling wedge. We can look for a nice break of structures there and break of trends and all the things that a lot of traders start looking for when we look for reversals. However, guys, I'm not going to leave out of the option off the table regarding a pivot right here. The 74K is still very possible. 75K right into here. We can continue making a nice rounded structure here. Get a bounce, come up, get rejected, come down, higher low, higher high, higher low. We could definitely round off here. Do I got any evidence of that? No, I do not. So I have to make sure that I keep myself open to that possibility, right? While still maintaining the in priority what information I have that is a little bit more concrete. And that what I have right now, guys, is the downtrend here on the daily. Clear and clear. Okay, there's a bit of divergence. That's it. Okay, so let's get on to the 4 hour. And of course, this is a structure that I've been tracking for the last little while, and I did post it on the Discord, and I've been using it today. I got into that short from here, and I exited a little early, right around this level. I should have kept that short open, but of course, hindsight is always 2020, and you don't know what's gonna happen. And for me, a bit of gains is better than none, so I start to get very defensive on my gains and walk away profitable. At the end of the day, look at this, guys. You got to be real about this 4 hour dip. Even if you look at it on the 15-minute, look at what's happening here, guys. We rolled over. This was the time to go short. At the current moment, shorts are a little bit dangerous, in my opinion, because even on the 15-minute, we're all already kind of oversold. We're seeing a bearish response right now, maybe coming down for a lower low. You can see the orange lines coming down with that bearish response. The trend has been your friend. Every time the bears respond, we make lower lows. Let it happen. Don't try to, time the bottom. As soon as we start seeing a bearish response that does not give us a lower low, in fact, gives us a higher low, then it starts to give us an indication that maybe the bears do not have what it takes to continue to the downside. But right now they do, guys. They're full in control. I'm waiting for the next bullish response. I'm waiting for a change of character, at least on these lower time frames, to potentially go long. Or else, guess what, guys? We're breaking structure. We're coming down for a lower low, and anticipate that. Okay, so be prepared. The trend is your friend. Unfortunately, I hate to be bearish, guys. I can't wait until I can start being bullish. But until I get a proper structure on higher time frames, guys, we have to maintain that the trend is our friend, and maybe not so friendly, but still our friend. All right, guys, let's move on. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Of course, a lot of people are worried about ETH down 6% right now. Still didn't make a lower low, still got that V recovery, rounded top type of thing, and maybe we do get a rounded bottom. Maybe we get a nice rounded bottom here, an Adam and Eve structure that suggests a quick, strong buy up from bulls and whales and whoever it is that bought it all up, and then all of a sudden a nice rounded bottom for a nice accumulation range. We break the highs, we start flying through the volume gap, and we take profit right around 1700. That would be awesome, right? Of course, smoking fat bowls of opium does give you this opportunity. However, guys, the reality is, if we get back onto the daily and start looking what Ethereum has been doing in the last little while, guess what? Downtrend it is, and almost like in express mode. As you can see, look at this, guys. It has no chill to the downside. And we're looking for horizontal levels of support where we can, put some bids in. And where is that for me? For me, honestly, guys, I'm going to be very, very, very critical on the Bitcoin, on the Ethereum price, and I'm expecting it to come down to about $1,000. And that's where I'm interested. It could come down here, maybe about 1,300 through this little volume gap, get a bit of support, get a pivot point structure, and start running. But guess what, guys? The trend is your friend, and at this rate and at this trajectory, we're coming down to 1,000. And if we come down to about 600, guys, again, this is an opportunity fire sale. You know how many people are going to get wrecked and capitulate at this level? That's a full reset of the market. And if we do come down here, I'm expecting altcoins to go sideways all summer long, and see you in September. That's basically what I'm expecting. The market would get so overwhelmed with emotions with Ethereum and the rest of the space coming down to those levels. We will be officially in a bear market, and most likely go sideways for a good portion of time before we start getting an attempt. And that means that your bags that you're holding right now have to be multi-cycle holds. Welcome to the club. That's how I say it. All right, guys. So this is how it is. The market doesn't promise you anything. We see currently Ethereum trying to find that support. I do see little nodes of volume that could give it to us. Oversold conditions everywhere across the market, on majority of the market. Look at this, guys. Look at the oscillators. Momentum is completely oversold. However, no signs of Class A bullish divergence yet. The expansions are strong. The expansions are showing us strength. And what could we say? The bears are continuously in control, and we are oversold here on volatility. Maybe we get a nice bullish response. If the bullish response gives us a higher high, okay, fine. Then the bearish response comes in, makes us gives us a higher low. Okay, that's good. A higher low is good. Bullish response, higher high, and we start to see a change of character based on the volatility in the market. But we need that to happen before I can start getting bullish here, because as you can see, all we're doing is making lower lows and lower highs on this trend, guys. This trend is getting longer and longer and longer, which means that eventually it needs to be broken. Eventually, we will hold support. We'll bounce around here, and then we'll start breaking the structure to the upside. We'll make like a nice structure, break the high, come down for a higher low confirmation, and then start rolling to the upside. I don't know if it's going to happen here or all the way down here at about $1,000 to $600. But as soon as I see that structure, guys, you could expect a video, expect an update, expect altcoins to start looking good, expect people to start saying, maybe we start seeing the Bitcoin dominance, drop a little bit, the others looking good and other things looking good. But at the current moment, guys, you see bleed outs everywhere. In fact, we're seeing the total fall even further today, approximately 3%, which is significant. So what can we say, guys? It's about being patient. And to be honest, I would say today is not the day to get into small cap altcoins. Get into the larger caps with great fundamentals. And this is why I'm interested in Ethereum, is because although I'm not fundamentally bullish, but it is the largest cap altcoin out there. And fundamentals, to be honest, as a speculative asset that it is still the most well-established from a fundamental perspective. Okay, many other aspects that were bearish about Ethereum has it covered in other aspects, which we got to understand. Ecosystem growth, total value locked is good. You know, a few upgrades here and there has been pretty positive. But ultimately, guys, if you're gonna, you know, bet on a project recovering and being around next cycle, it should be Ethereum. The problem is Ethereum looks like absolute trash at the current moment from a price action perspective. I get it, guys. I'm in the same boat as you guys. It's not like I have any other extra information about Ethereum or anything with regards to the crypto space, but I can tell you this: the fire sales here are incredible. Okay, DCA, nice and slow. It's the best solution, especially when you're uncertain where the market's going to hold the bottom. Just scatter in some buy orders weekly and call it a day. Ethereum might be on my buy order list for this week, especially if we start hitting about $1,000. Guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.